Shalom, family. Giving all honor, glory, praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Bashem Krakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All honor, glory, praises due. Today, I wanted to, encourage the ox and any viewers, that's just now getting in the truth. I want to talk about faith, man. Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, that's how we please him, through faith. It's impossible to please the Most High without faith, Having faith that, Yahweh Shah died on the cross. He shed his blood, sacrificed himself for our sins, for our sake. That's what's going to get us through this. Knowing that he's not going to let anything happen to us. And I'm going to start off in Hebrews 11. And it reads, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." So, you say, for instance, like the promise, we hope for that. You know what I'm saying? I talk to my Ak Ben all the time. He tells me all the time, like, this generation of Israelites, our faith is very strong because we've never seen Yahweh Shah in this life. We're just now waking up to this truth. Some of us five years been in the truth. Some of us longer than that. Some of us shorter than 1 year. But the fact that we get together all the time, the fact that we always in the scriptures, we come to each other with holy conversation shows our faith. In Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. I'm going to go to Proverbs 25, verse 19. Proverbs 25, verse 19. And it reads, "Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint." Faith is confidence, man. You got to be confident that the Most High is going to protect you. You got to be confident that Yahweh Shai died on the cross for you. You got to be confident that he sacrificed himself. You got to be confident that you're an Israelite. You got to be confident in this. Just like it says, confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. Look, if you ain't got this confidence, man, what in the time of trouble, what happens if you claiming that you're an Israelite and you claiming that you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and they decide to test you. They decide to test your faith. They decide to throw winds at you. They decide to throw things that'll really test your faith. Are you gonna give up? Do you have the confidence in them that they're gonna protect you? They're gonna see you through? We got to have confidence. We got to have confidence in Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm going to go down to 28, and it reads, He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Now, I brought that scripture out to say this. We suffer with doubt, and all doubt is just that wicked demon, trying to keep you from faith. The demon wants you to fall. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm gonna read it again. He that had no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Man, you got to be able to control your own mind. You got to be able to fight them wicked thoughts. You got to be able to fight that doubt. You got to, man, you got to get it in your head that Yahweh Shai is not gonna he wouldn't wake me up, for one. He wouldn't bring me all this way just to see me fail. He wouldn't do that. I don't care if you gotta go look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that I'm elect. Tell yourself that I'm a child of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Tell yourself that Yahweh Shai died on the cross for me. I don't care if you got to do that 100 times a day. You got to build your confidence. And you can't let these wicked spirits get in your head trying to make you doubt. Because that's just doubting Yahweh Shai. And all we want to do is please him. We don't want to doubt him. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 17, starting at verse 14. Yeah. Oh, Shalak. I'm going to go to Proverbs 28, verse 20. And it reads, A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. And I wanted to bring that out, man, because basically what I get from that, if you make a haste to be rich, you basically telling yourself you're going to get it by any means. You have no faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? The blessing are your needs, The Most High is our parent. He cares for us. He loves us. He understands us. He knows what we need. If you got faith in the Most High, if you got faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, He's going to always take care of you. If you have faith in yourself, shit, it might lead you down a rabbit hole to some wicked shit. You get it by any means, you might be having to get it through some wicked shit. And then your life is even more fucked up than it was before. So yeah, man, always have faith that the Most High is going to take care of you. He'll feed you. He'll clothe you. He'll put shelter over your head. He'll give you transportation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times he might see us. He might want us to suffer a little bit before he actually do it. He will test you. But you just gotta always keep it in your mind like this is all a test, and I'm gonna pass it. Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai they my everything. They the reason why I wake up in the morning. Man, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna get this. This is my favorite. This is my favorite verse throughout the whole entire book. It's Psalms 139. Psalms 139, starting at verse 7, and it reads, Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, Surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins. Thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. Get it through your mind, man. No matter what decision you make, he's always there. You know what I'm saying? He's always there. If you make up a messed up decision, he's going to be there. If you make up the right decision, he's going to be there. If you find your way up into heaven, he'll be there. If you make your bed in hell, he's going to be there. No matter what. If you his child, he's going to take care of you. Now, he might chastise you. He might test you. But at the end, man, he's going to take care of you, especially if you have faith in him. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 17, verse 14. Yeah. And it reads, And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him, and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic and sore vexed. For oft times he falleth into the fire, and oft into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Yahushua rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from the very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahushua apart, and said, Why could not we cast him out? And Yahushua said unto them, Because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. He said, if you got the faith of a mustard seed, you'll be able to cast out mountains, man. All it takes is a mustard seed, faith of a mustard seed, man. And a mustard seed is small, you know. That's all you need. If you just got a little bit of confidence, that's all you need, man. You know, I ain't trying to be the wing leap. You know, of course, I want my faith to be bigger than that. But if you got the faith of a mustard seed, man, you know, and some days, man, and what I also get from that is to be able to cast out mountains. Think about it, man. A mountain is heavy. You know what I'm saying? We go through mountains every day. You know, we got to walk up mountains every day. We always going through something. You know, a mountain, you know, what I see a mountain being from what he's talking about, I can see it being those wicked thoughts that pop up in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think about it, man, we always call our ox whenever our faith is being shaken, whenever we feeling down, you know, whenever we start doubting. We always call our ox. That's the mountain. But then, you know, your faith being shaken, you call on the that dude that you know, he's not feeling that way right now. His faith is strong right now. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll snap you out of that. You know what I'm saying? You start to feed off of his faith. And now your faith is right back where it's supposed to be. You know? I can kind of see that coming from that verse, you know. If we got faith, you know, we'll be able to comfort our ox, you know, that's going through that's going through something. We'll be able to cast out that demon that's fucking with him in his head. That's giving him that doubt. I'm gonna go to Matthew chapter 14. Verse 22. So like, y'all gotta bear with me, man. I can barely see. Take these glasses off. And it reads, and straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitude away. And when he had sent the multitude away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves. Salat. For the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid and beginning to sink. He cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. Then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth, thou art the Son of power. When Peter started to get on that sea, man, he started getting nervous. He started taking his mind off of the Most High. He started taking his mind off of Yahushua. He started taking his eyes off of him. Started to doubt. That's when he almost started to sink, you know what I'm saying? But Yahushua saved him. We got to keep our mind on him. We got to keep our mind on him. We can't allow other things in this world to get us distracted, to get us doubting. We got to keep our mind on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah HaMashiach at all times. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 9. Starting at verse 18. And it reads, While he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler and worshipped him, saying, My daughter is even now dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. And Yahushua arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was deceased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him, and touched the hem of his garment. For she said within herself, If I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. But Yahushua turned him about, and when he saw her, and said, Daughter, be of good comfort. Salam. Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And when Yahushua came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, he said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand, and the maid arose, and the fame hereof went abroad into all that land. And when Yahushua departed, thence two blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us. And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him. And Yahushua saith unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? They said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then touched he their eyes, saying, According to your faith be it unto you. And their eyes were open. And Yahushua straightly charged them, saying, See that no man know it. But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in on all that country. You heard what he asked them? He said, Believe, verse 28, he said, red letter, Believe ye that I am able to do this. We got to believe that he's able to take care of us. That's where our faith is. That's where our confidence is, man. We got to believe that he's able to take care of us through thick and thin. I'm gonna go to Romans chapter 4. This is talking about faith. I'm gonna just read it. Romans chapter 4. When shall we say that Abraham our father, as pertaining to the flesh, hath found? For if Abraham were justified by works, he hath whereof to glory, but not before power. See, we can't focus on ourselves. We can't have faith in ourselves. We can't have faith that we're the ones that's gonna save ourselves, man, because we'll get fucked up like that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have faith in Yahushua, because without having faith in him, we're all deemed wicked. That's the only thing that's separating us from the 2/3. It's Yahushua HaMashiach and his blood. Believing in that. That's the only thing that's separating us. If we didn't have that, we'll be just as wicked as these 2/3, man. We'll all be done for. Verse 3. For what saith the scripture? Abraham believed power, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. Now to him that worketh is the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. But to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justifieth the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. Even as David also describeth the blessedness of the man, unto whom power imputeth righteousness without works, saying, Blessed are they whose iniquities are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man to whom the Lord will not impute sin. Cometh this blessedness, cometh this blessedness then upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also? For we say that faith was reckoned to Abraham for righteousness. How was it then reckoned? When he was in circumcision or in uncircumcision, not in Salah. Verse 10. How was it then reckoned? When he was in circumcision or in uncircumcision? Not in circumcision, but in uncircumcision. See, circumcision is carnal. Circumcision and uncircumcision is basically carnal, man. See, what the thing is, these Pharisees, These Pharisees today a lot of them ain't even following the law of Moses right, so they're still uncircumcised, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about circumcision is, back then, you had the tribes of Judah and the tribes of Israel. The tribes of Judah followed the law of Moses back then. So they were circumcised through the law. So they had to keep the law unto death. The northern kingdom, they were Gentiles. They weren't living through the law. So they were uncircumcised. So they didn't have to keep the law. They had to keep the law of liberty, them being uncircumcised and pretty much us being uncircumcised and knowing about Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah Mashiach, believing in that, having faith in that, makes us circumcised, makes our heart circumcised. It's not about being circumcised carnally, physically. It's about us being circumcised spiritually. We're all uncircumcised. We didn't follow that law. We a lot of us, when we was born, if you was circumcised when you was born on that day. The law of Moses say you got to wait 8 days to be circumcised. Have to be born. But I'm going to keep moving on. Verse 11. And he received the sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of the faith which he had yet being uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all them that believe, though they be not circumcised, that righteousness might be imputed unto them also, and the father of circumcision to them who are not of the circumcision only, to them who are not of the circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, which he had being yet uncircumcised. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. For if they which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void, and the promise made of none effect, because the law worketh wrath. For where no law is, there is no transgression. Therefore, it is of faith, that it might be by grace, to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed, not to that only which is of the law, but to that also which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. As it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations, before him who he believed, even power, who quickeneth the dead, and calleth those things which be not as though they were. Salat. Excuse me. Verse 18. Who against hope believed in hope, that he might become the father of many nations, according to that which was spoken. So shall thy seed be. And being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body, now dead, when he was about 100 years old, neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb. He staggered not at the promise of power through unbelief, but was strong in faith, being glory to power. Salat, giving glory to power, and being fully persuaded that what he had promised, he was able also to perform, and therefore it was imputed to him for righteousness. Now it was not written for his sake alone that it was imputed to him, but for us also, to whom it shall be imputed, if we believe on him that raised up Yahushua our Lord from the dead, who was delivered for our offenses and was raised again for our justification. Gotta have faith in Yahushua, man. It's through faith and grace. I'm gonna go to, this is my favorite, man. this is my favorite story in the Bible, I would say, man. Like, I'm gonna go to 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 32. So, like, I ain't gonna say story, and this is my favorite piece of history in the Bible. And it reads, now this is talking about David and Goliath, and I'm pretty sure everybody know about this story, you know, especially if you grew up in the church house. But yeah, man, this is David, man. David was he was a rut, bro. He was short, you know. He was short. He was young. You know, everybody. It was just you know, Goliath was huge. He was a giant. A lot of Israelite men was scared to fight him. Even the king Saul at that time was scared to fight him. You know, but David, you know, the Most High, he picks the underdogs, man. David was young. He was short. You know what I'm saying? And he chose David because of the faith that David had. And we're gonna read about it right here. Now this is powerful right here. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock, and I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his house, out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he had defied the armies of the living power. David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head, and also he armed him with the coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. And he took his staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even in a scrip, and his sling was in his hand. And he drew near to the Philistine. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David. And the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained. He disdained him, for he was but a youth, and ruddy, and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog, that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his God. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with the sword, and with the spear, and with the shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, and power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee, and take thy head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. And it came to pass, when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand on his bag, and took thence a stone, and slang it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with the sling and with the stone, and smote the Philistine, and slew him. And there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine, and took his sword, and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. And the men of Israel and the men of Israel and of Judah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistines until thou come to the valley and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Shariam, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. That's the coldest story of faith, man. Man, David was young. He was young. He was short. You know, a lot of people didn't have faith in him, but that was okay, because David had faith in the Most High. He slew a giant that a lot of people feared, with a sling and some rocks, bro. If you ever struggling with faith, read that story, bro. Read that story. I'm gonna go to Numbers 21, 1 and 9. God. And I'm reading this because this is what we're supposed to do with Yah Yah. You know, I'm going to read Numbers 21, starting at verse 1. And it reads, And when King Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south, heard tell that Israel came by the way of the spies, then he fought against Israel, and took some of them prisoner. And Israel vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou wilt indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Israel, and delivered up the Canaanites. And they utterly destroyed them and their cities. And he called the name of the place Hormah. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. And the people spake against power and against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness, and started losing faith? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread. See what happened when you lose faith, man? And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, Make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon the pole, and it shall come to be Shalak, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bidden, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon the pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. That's exactly what we got to do. We gotta look upon Yahweh Shah Hamashiach just like our ancestors looked upon that brass serpent on the pole. We gotta look upon him. You want to be righteous, look upon him. If you want to be healed, look upon him. Cast everything to him. Let him handle it. Go to 1 Timothy chapter 6. Verse 12. And it reads, fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. Got to fight the good fight of faith, man, every day. It's a battle, you know what I'm saying? Wrestle not against flesh, but against powers and principalities, against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. They attack the mind. Everything around us is wicked. That's where that fight come in. Keep it in your head that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is going to take care of you. He's going to see you out through the end, bro. He's going to take care of you through thick and thin. Which leads me to Romans 8:25. And it reads, but if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. If we hope for that what we see not, do we with patience wait for it, man? Yeah, we wait on it. Because again, we got to have confidence that it's going to happen. So yeah, man, just to encourage the oxen. Like I said, any viewers that's new in the truth, that stumbled across my video, just keep your faith. Keep the faith, ox. I'm going to end it off right. Giving all honor, glory, praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Bashem Rakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All honor, glory, praises due. Shalom, family. Love y'all.